All right, so what I'll do is I will do a brief class portion, and then I will answer as many questions as possible and elaborate on things as people bring them up. So what I'll do is first I'll introduce myself. My name's Eric Satter. I've been teaching these classes and stuff. So I wanted to teach a class on mentorship, leadership, and how to be a motivator. And when you're doing stuff both professionally and personally, you usually want to have at least someone there or a group of people that you can go to ask questions or that you can emulate, or you can look at the person and go, wow, how can this person do all this stuff? And it really comes down to general leadership, but there's key aspects. And those three key aspects are being a mentor, being a leader, and then being a motivator. And I'll go and give my brief descriptions and understandings of each one and how they're all kind of related or sectioned off on how different people do it better or they do it worse. So the first one I'll do is being a mentor. To me, for mentorship, you are essentially a teacher. But the other nice thing about it is you're guiding them. So they're always going to ask questions and everything like that. So I always love using a dry erase board. It's kind of my thing. So as the mentor, you're essentially going in this direction. You, as the mentee, will be going in the same direction, doing pretty much the exact same things. So you're kind of like peers. This person's doing this person is now following, doing it, asking questions. They're trying to always improve themselves. So they find someone that will help them improve. Now, along the guidelines of being a leader is actually just always going to be ahead of the person. Okay? They're saying, all right, we're going to go and we're going to do this. Well, the person who says we're going to do this is the leader because they came up with the thing. They can generate actions that other people might be too scared to do, especially on their own, things like that. The other thing that leaders have the capability of doing better than some other people is that they have better communication skills. Now, as a mentor, you have good communication skills because you're just pretty much talking. But when you're a leader, you can communicate not just usually to one, but you're usually communicating to a group of people. So now you're just not doing a one-to-one, you're essentially doing either a one-to-one or a 1-to-5, a 1-to-20, a 1-to-100. The leader is above all these people and can now tell them this is the situation, this is why we're doing it. And then they also lead, okay? Because they're not going to say, all right, we're going to do this, now I'm going to sit down and you go ahead and do it. No, that's not the way to do it. All right, this is what we're going to do. Ready? Now follow me. The other thing that a good leader does that a lot of people don't really understand, but I used to say this in the military. There was always a thing about listen and do. All right, you're given an order and you do it. Hey, that's great. But you have to listen. What is really the thing that you want to happen? Is it just, all right, we're going to go and we're going to walk north? Okay, we're going to walk north. Why are we walking north? Tell us a reason on why we're walking north. So they always used to say a thing called the bluff, B-L-U-F. Bottom line up front. You always want to tell the people, we are going to do this for this reason. Okay, we got it. But then you tell them, and that's just where the do part is. The do part is, and this is how we're going to do it. When you do something your way, that's called a leadership style. All right, we're just going to run straight in the middle and we're going to be victorious. Okay, that's one way of doing it. Or you could be smart. All right, we're going to break, we're going to flank around, we're going to attack, and then when we get into trouble, we'll initiate the reserve element and they're going to come on in. Well, now you're creating an entire picture. So now, like I said, you're not just leading one person. You can start leading multiple people and everyone understands. Now, mentorship is where the leader essentially stops and now inspires one or more again into doing something. So they kind of push them. All right. Well, I don't really know. I know you can. You need to just go out there and you just need to do it. I have full faith in you. Okay. So they're supportive. Okay. They give like small little increments of drive. You can do it. There's no problem. Well, I really don't. Nope. There is no doubt. There is all you, and you will go out there and you will be successful. Again, these can be one or it can be multiple people. Now, of course, with everything, you will always have positive and negative people that can do this. Now, some people be like, hey, I can really do a lot of stuff, but I really can't teach. Well, they're going to have problems being a motivator. Or sometimes they are a negative motivator or negative mentor, where you think that they're doing it for one reason, but they're actually doing it for a negative reason. So you always have to be aware, keep your eyes open, ask questions. Now, in some cases, you won't have that. So if you're like in your job or anything like that, you're like, man, I hate my boss. I don't like the way he operates. I don't like the way he treats people. Man, my boss, she just will not listen to a good idea. This boss over here has the workers go to their personal house and clean when they're supposed to be doing other work. You're going to get positive and negative aspects to everything. And you will definitely see it on a bad leader, because those people will always, I'm in charge, and no matter what it is, you will do what I say. Well, they're just bad. They're not going to listen. They're not going to improve. And a good leader will always do self-improvement. A good leader will also find positive and negatives within themselves. A good mentor will find positive and negatives in the person that they're mentoring, but not use that against them. They're going to use that as a way to say, okay, you're having a problem with this, so we are going to work on this. Or if you can't, as the mentor, make it better, what you do is you say, I can't fix this for you, but I do know someone that can. And that's the most important thing as a mentor, is to, you're just not my only thing. I am focusing on you, both your positives and your negatives, and I'm going to strengthen your positives, And if I can fix your negatives, that's great. If not, I will find someone else that can do this. So you're always going to have different people. A lot of times you're like, the person's in a place of power, so they should automatically be good. No, you can't always ensure that. You always ask questions. And sometimes if it's a job interview, hey, I'm going to apply for this job, and at the interview, you just don't get a good feeling, that's when you ask questions to clarify. Clarification is always the key. More information is better. Sometimes asking the same question a different way is a good way to figure out whether or not the person has the right traits that you believe you're looking for. Because remember, whenever I'm explaining to you my definition of mentorship, leadership, and motivation, or a person who's a motivator. These things are always going to be at different levels and changing. So for example, when you first start a job, are you going to be a leader right away? Well, if you're in the military, you become a leader. You're either the leader of a small group, of a platoon, of a squad, of a company. They generate leadership qualities. Doesn't always work. So sometimes at a certain level, they're like, nope, you're not getting better, you're not improving, we're not going to put you in any more leadership positions. But they always give you the chance. As a mentor, you want to go in and you want to learn. So it's more like my first or second job, I'm going someplace, I need to understand a few things, I want to get a second person's experience aspect, and that's important. And after a while, you're like, wow, this is great. After 2 years, you're like, man, this is not the right person. People change. You change, they change, the situation changes. So, and then a motivator, exact same thing too. Is the person a good motivator? One of the things that they always say is to be a good motivator is you should always, like I said, this is the first one, then you need to be a good leader, then you really need to be a good motivator. When you get into a leadership position or you want to be a motivator, the best thing to do is motivate someone to be a leader. If someone's a leader, then that person should tell the other person, I want you to go and find someone, and I want you to teach them something, so I want you to be a mentor. So you start building the experience and capability. So to me, a really good leader is someone who can be all three of these at any situation, at any particular time, to any individual. Be able to answer questions, everything like that. So my definition of being a leader is, as I wrote it down here, to me, leadership is the ability to understand the environment that you're in, the situation that occurs that's around you, and being able to motivate others through good communication skills in a way to accomplish a goal. Most of that comes from a lot of military experience, a lot of personal, professional growth, personal business experience, everything like that. When you are the follower on a mentor, you believe you have some information and you want to go in a certain direction. So you find the person that best suits that. When you get to be a leader is when you have more of the self-confidence on. I know what needs to happen. I know the best way to do it. you get a lot of self-confidence. When you get to be a motivator, you already have the confidence. You don't need to prove it. What you do is you give the other people the drive and the ability to say, you can do this. You are now going to be a leader. And you give them the opportunities. When you're looking for someone, I always tell someone, well, if I'm looking at being a squire to someone, or I don't know if I really want to do this or anything, I tell them, find someone. Find someone that you like, that you can talk to, that you have a good relationship with. If you want to be part of a big organization, you might just stay in this group 5, 10 years because you just enjoy the situation, you enjoy your position, everything like that. But you have to be honest with yourself. Is this where you want to be? And if it is, then that's fine. But you need to find people. You need to find, hey, I want to be a good leader. So you find someone who's a good leader, and then you talk to them, and you keep talking to them, and you keep asking them questions. And then you check and see if you can do a few of the things that they were doing. So for example, if you're in a job and you're like, hey, supervisor, we have this project coming up. I would love to be the lead on this project and tell that person, this is how I want to do it. Okay, this, or this. They might say, no, you're not ready yet. Okay, what will get me ready? Just don't say, well, I think I am and you're wrong. Okay, that's conflict. Say, all right, why do you think I'm not? And then ask, what do I need to work on so I can be the supervisor or the project manager on the next thing? You always want to keep on escalating up. You want to go down or go back when it's something new and you want to build your experience, ask questions so you can keep on going up. And you should always incentivize other people to do other things. That is the best way to understand what mentorship, leadership, and being a motivator is, and then how to find the best one for you. And then figure out what you need to do for the next step. So, as I said before, be a mentor, it's a 1-to-1 ratio. That is the best way, it's the basic level. You get in there, you get a good understanding. Leadership can be a 1-to-1, or it can be all the way up to 100. Usually, no more than 10 is really the best number. It's usually called small group management, everything like that. Now, when you get to be a motivator, you focus on one person, but you can motivate an entire group. And what I mean by that, I'm just going to say large. In the military, we always have leaders. Leaders are responsible for smaller and smaller groups. But you always have the key leaders. They are the ones that will generate the feel, the aura of how everything works. So, for example, when I was in Afghanistan in 2013, we had a 2-star general. His motivation, or the way he motivated people, was, as I said, he told everyone, this is right, this is wrong, there's a leeway in the middle, but when you do something wrong, you will know it. When you do something great, we will share it. But everything that's there is set in stone. So he told everyone his goal. This is the end state. This is the feel of how it is, which now gave everyone the, well, I don't know if I really should do it because I don't know if I'm going to get in trouble. Is it over here? No, then you're not going to get in trouble. You're fine. Oh, so it's a level of comfort, a level of inspiration. In fact, there's essentially two aspects, and that is both a rational or essentially a kind of spiritual incentive. Okay, the rational incentive both can be positive and negative. Like I said, you do this great, you get rewarded. You do this bad, you're going to jail. Everything else in here, that's your job. When you're, and in that part, you're the leader. And when you're doing the leader, you have a leadership style, which will then give people new inspiration, or it could give them a new viewpoint on, man, I really hate the military. I hate this. And then all of a sudden they're like, man, that was the best deployment in the world. I think I'm going to stay a little bit more. That person jumped to be a motivator for one person. Or maybe that entire company is like, this is the greatest thing ever. We want to do it again. We want to stay another 6 months, but we'll only do it if we stay as a group. That is one great aspect of motivation. It gives you both a bit of a rational, a very legitimate touchstone that you can validate, to a feeling of euphoria, a bit of spiritualistic aspect to it. You feel happy to be a part of a group. You feel happy to be part of the team, or as the leader, or as part of the leadership staff. So whenever you want to go out and do stuff, you always want to, like I said, first be honest with yourself on what you're trying to do, and then find the right person that can help you do it. That person might be close, that person might be far away. There is no rush for this. Everything that you do makes you who you are. And that's, like I said, for leadership, we have a thing called leadership style. Man, this person, it was really weird. When I was in Iraq in 2011, we had an Asian guy, I can't remember his name, and it was like, hey, we're going to be going and we're going to have a little party. No drinking, general order one, but we had a nice little party. And he showed up with bagpipes. I'm like, wait a minute, you're Asian and you play bagpipes. All right, don't see this very often. That was a style. He played bagpipes, everyone had a good time. He was known for it. Be who you are. You're going to make mistakes. Don't be afraid to make mistakes. Mistakes is one of the best ways that everyone learns. So always try and do that. Make mistakes. You learn from them the most. All right, let's see if I got any other. The thing that I have on here that I did not say is what is the main goal of a mentor? A mentor is essentially trains a follower. The goal is to make that follower go into to be a leader. Okay, so you always have to have goals when you want to transition to the next one. All right, what's the goal on being a leader? Is when you can start getting other people to either become leaders, then you've motivated them, or you've motivated them to do something else. So for example, hey, I'm a great fighter. You know what? You have a great ear for music. Why are you not singing or playing an instrument or something? Well, I just really wasn't sure. You know what? That's wrong. We need to get you to do that. You know what? I found someone. I'm going to have them mentor you into doing this. Then all of a sudden, you are now motivating them to trying something new, which is going back to being a mentor again with someone else. That is the continuous personal growth process. All right, I'll leave this here for now, and I will see if anyone has any questions or anything.
I just stepped up, 5 months ago as my group's seneschal. And I'm having problems with people honestly not respecting me because they're taking preconceptions about me and using that against me. Is there a way, how can I deal with that?
It happens all the time, and it's sad. Okay, I'm sorry to say it's just very sad. It comes down to, and I have been in almost every single kingdom, multiple different groups. And every time I go to a new group, it's like I have to revalidate, re-justify who I am, and then essentially get their approval. You know what? I stopped doing that. All I do is like, listen, I really don't care what you guys think. I am going to have fun. Once I start having fun, other people will be like, man, I wish I was having that much fun. You know what? I don't know why I wasn't talking to this person. I'm going to go over there and talk to the person. And then all of a sudden it's like, hey, what's the next event you're going to? And what it does is it really builds on not, I hate to say not caring, but you really have to not care about stuff. You have to have your personal, I'm not saying I'm better than everyone else. I am just not going to care about negative aspects. Hey, I'm here, da, da, da. Well, you know, and I just don't want to talk to you. And sometimes it's rough. Coming back after a long period of time to my old group, people still remember me, but there was still always, well, should we really talk to him again and all this other stuff. And then I just went to events by myself. I would go and I would start things like, hey, everyone, let's start dancing. And they're like, oh, okay. So I brought my music discs, started playing music, started teaching dance. And all of a sudden people were like, wow, this person's great. And then people either start accepting, or strangely enough, you're going to get people who are like, well, we might as well accept the person because otherwise you're kind of guilt shaming them into accepting you. But it works. People have a strange level of personal status that they find conflicting because they're like, this person might be better than me, and I'm going to make sure that that doesn't happen. It doesn't happen all the time, but you've seen people that are like that. When people are scared of you, especially people who have theoretically some type of power, either actual or assumed or presumed power, I mean, you're not going to be able to fight that unless you have a bigger person that can hit them on the head and go, stop doing this. You just have to do things your way, show everyone who you are, and not care about what's going on. Put a couple projects in for an A&S competition. Go to more events than other people. Become like a warranted marshal in thrown weapons or something, and then all of a sudden they kind of have to listen to you because, well, you're the subject matter expert.
It actually makes me laugh that you brought up thrown weapons because my husband and I were two of the thrown weapons marshals that started it in our kingdom. So ironic.
No, it's good. I mean, people are fickle, and you find the ones that you like to talk with, that you have commonality with. And the ones that don't, I tell everyone, especially if they say, they post something now like on Facebook or social media, and then someone responds by blah, 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 blah. And they just get mad. Oh, I can't believe, I don't know why this person said. I said, you know what the best way to treat that person? And they're like, what? When they say something that's bad or contradictory to what you say, the very next thing is you just keep on with what you were saying before. Like you didn't even hear their comment. And they're like, well, you can't do this because of this. You know, when I do this, I think I will use yellow instead of red. Yellow is not acceptable because of this. Because yellow is my favorite color, and this is my event. Yellow is not. It's going to be a really nice day, and the sun's shining off the yellow. Yellow will be perfect, and yellow is the thing. And then they start screaming with capital letters. It's hilarious.